Guys, there's a shocking statistic that happened this past footballing weekend. For the first time in almost 6 games, Erling Haaland failed to score a goal.
Thank God.
Did you say thank God?
Yes, thank God. I was afraid this guy was not human.
So apparently,
To
he
be
is human.
honest, I was
Yeah,
really
of
afraid.
course.
What was your reaction to him not scoring and Dortmund not winning?
Well, he's the kind of player who could bounce back with 5 in a game.
You think so?
Wicked guy.
Well, for me, I think he shouldn't have allowed us to believe he can score in every game if he's not good. If he's not going to score in every game.
Well, we'll see about that next game.
Welcome to the Sports Lounge on Elevator TV. It's another episode of the Sports Lounge on Elevator TV, and we decided to give ourselves a change of the scenario. On the show today, we'll be talking about so many interesting topics. Number one would be Odion Ighalo and his shock move to Manchester United, which sparked so many different reactions. Surprise from Manchester United fans, happiness from Nigerian fans. Also, we'll be touching about the issue on Messi and Abidal in Barcelona, and for that, we'll be introducing our first guest today. Our first guest name is Jimmy. Jimmy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. You?
I'm fine. I'm all right. Some weeks ago, we had Michael. I'm sure you know Michael.
Yes, I do.
So we'll be needing you to digest into some of
No,
the
I'll lay into my team today. No problem. I'll lay into them properly today. I need somewhere to vent all my feelings. I've been listening for since December, so now I have the opportunity.
Yeah, the chat. Well, we'll be getting back to you shortly. I'm Precious almost away. Precious, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, man.
The statistics, man. I hope you have some numbers coupled up for us today.
Well, Erling Haaland failed to score for the first time in 6 games.
That's shit. I gave you that time. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's start with Barcelona, Jimmy.
Okay.
Some months ago, or let's say when Valverde was still around, I don't know your view on the sacking of Valverde.
I like it.
You liked it. Every Barcelona fan seems to do, but now it seems like there's a bit of a crisis in Barcelona.
I don't think there's a crisis.
We'll get to that. When I say crisis, you've been knocked out of Copa del Rey.
Mm-hmm.
You're not top of the table anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Then Messi, the road that came out between Messi and Abidal. Abidal's come out to say some players. He tried not to go straight. He said some players were too quick to judge Valverde, and because of their decision, the man was sacked, and he didn't think that should have happened. Abidal might have been wrong, but what do you think of the whole situation going right now in Barcelona?
Well, the situation at Barcelona right now is a funny one, to be honest, because if you look at it critically from December, we've always been having wavering form in the league. Like, we'll just win a stretch of games, the next thing we'll just lose drastically. The next thing we'll just start playing badly, like bad football. Like, passes were going side to side. We weren't just progressing. It was just mainly us waiting for the team to come out and try and attack us. Then we pass through their side or pass through their middle. But now we want someone that will just, as we collect the ball like this, we're progressing forward. So that's why I'm in favor of Setien Sandwich, because one, anytime we get the ball now, instead of us usually just recycling the ball in the back or side of the midfield, we actually move forward to draw more players to us. So once you move forward, you draw a lot more.
But has this shown results on the pitch of play? I can't remember when last you guys scored more than.
I'm not concerned about that one because we have a plethora of injuries. Also, like, rhythm is off. But what I'm seeing so far is sweet gameplay. Like, the whole crisis of Messi and Abidal. My own issue is that Abidal shouldn't have said it at this moment. He should have said something like this, like at the ending of the season, or probably even at the beginning of the season to fire up the lads. But now it's just like you just throwing something in the midst of all these players and wondering, okay, you guys are not be performing well, so sack your coach. We are now perform. It's not fair on the players because you're expecting them to just start performing out of nowhere. Like Setien now, he's trying to implement his ideas, and I can see them clearly. It's not. I wouldn't back a coach that is playing rubbish. I never will. So if you see something that's good, you have to admit it. So it's not because of the result. The results will go away. It's Barca. We always, at the end of the day, we'll find something and win. It's my club. So despite the fact that Messi came out to charge at Abidal, it's the role of the captain to always defend the players, no matter what. It's not the coach. At the end of the day, coaches will go to their houses. They will go to it's the captains. They always relay all their feelings to.
But it was quite coincidental for him to come out because in the past there's been talk of Messi being the godfather in Barcelona. That he's not only the captain, he's also the president. He makes most of the decisions. He was pissed off that Neymar could not come back because he really wanted Neymar to come back. So it was really coincidental that Messi came out to say that. Then everybody's jumping on Messi back, like you are now, and saying that Abidal shouldn't have come to say that. Do you think there's a little bit of factor like that in there?
It's not that Messi is like a godfather. Like, you've won so much for the team. You've played so well for this particular club. It's only natural for you to assume that this guy, okay, he should have a say in the club's this thing. Not that he's above the club. Like, they're paying him now. Like, you see, you can't be bigger than your boss. Like, so him now just, this is just like him basically being, he's also a fan of Barca at the end of the day. He is also looking from a fan point of view that would the fans be happy with this? No, he won't now. So some rumors though, that he will say, oh, that Messi is the one dictating all this. I don't believe it, because I don't believe anything unless it's official or confirmed. It's not me or this thing. Like, you can bring all the rumors from here to tomorrow until you show me concrete facts that, okay, this man said this. I won't believe you. But now, since he came out and said it on his own Instagram, I have to take his side a little, but not fully, because I think this thing should have been solved internally.
We'll get back to you, Jimmy. But Precious, Jimmy is trying to say there's no fire on the mountain, even though we see smoke. What do you think? Do you think Barcelona is in a bit of a crisis? They failed to get in a striker in this past summer window, and it looks like they need one. Griezmann has not really clicked yet. Ansu Fati is still young, coming up. Suarez is out for who knows how long. Do you think that failure to get a striker is going to be a damper to the season?
I think if you have just 14 available first-team players, you are in a crisis. Okay, and it reeks not just of poor management, really. And I think, like you said, taking a cue from what he said, Messi is also putting himself in the position of a fan. So if you are a fan, your team has just 14 first-team players, and you had the January transfer window to correct this. You did absolutely nothing about it. And then you come out openly in the public glare and say something, and point fingers at the players. Then I think it's very right for Messi, as the face of the team, the guy who can speak for the players, to come out and say, oh, you can name names if you want to. However, have you done your own job as the director of sports of this team? Have you planned well? If you had planned well, you wouldn't have gotten us into this position. Let's talk about Griezmann himself, who I think was it was a wrong signing at the wrong time. So you don't break the bank for such. Griezmann is a fantastic player, but does he suit the kind of style that FCB play? Okay, now the pockets of spaces where Griezmann loves to occupy behind the center forward, those are the same places Messi would like to play. You are not going to drop a Lionel Messi for Griezmann. So it means you are either going to shunt Griezmann to the left. Oh, let's look at it this way. Probably someone somewhere thought Griezmann was coming to fill the void that Neymar left. There's no way that would have worked. How productive? I think the last time Griezmann was productive as a left-sided forward was at, I think it was Sociedad. So yeah, he has evolved over time. So I think for FCB presently, there is a whole lot going on. Let's not forget as well that one of the reasons why Xavi refused to come back was political. Okay, so I think there's a whole lot going on underground that we're only just seeing pocket effects of all those political issues on the field of play. The players are suffering for it, but then there's a whole lot back. The drama has not even started yet.
That's brilliant, Precious. But let's leave their off-field crisis and let's talk a little bit of their on-field crisis. They were dumped out of the Copa del Rey by Inaki Williams in the final minute of the Copa del Rey.
I mean, I watched. I described that match to you. It's probably one of the funniest days of my life. I think I just finished seeing my girlfriend that day, so I was watching the game. I settled down properly, yeah. And I was watching it and saying, yes, okay, yeah, we're playing very good. Everything's going so well. I said, why can't we just score? we had like two great chances. I think one was Griezmann first. then Messi now missing the one-on-one. I said, oh come on, this we can't miss Bilbao again. So next time I was just watching the match patiently. I was looking up on my screen. Next thing, I just saw a ball floating from the wing. I thought, okay, this Utiti or someone has this covered. Next, he just
into the net.
I turned off everything. I went to my bed. I said, nah, this can't happen.
you know that leaves two possible titles that you could win this season, either the La Liga or the Champions League.
The Champions League.
We were discussing before the show started, and I told you I don't see Barcelona as one of the favorites.
You know, I might look crazy as well, but I think we're going to win.
Wow.
You're going to win which of them?
Champions League.
Interesting. I hope you don't come to Anfield again.
If we go to Anfield, I don't know what will happen. It's football.
I can tell you what will happen. Nobody will be there.
Nobody knew what was going to happen at Anfield. To be honest, did anybody know what was going to happen at Camp Nou?
You can't tell us about Camp Nou when something like Anfield happened.
That's their house. In my own house, I beat them too now.
So who qualified at the end of the day?
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that. But ours too, we can hold on.
So you really believe that Barcelona can win the Champions League?
If we're on our game,
I don't want to know your game, but
I believe that. Don't worry. I'm telling you the truth. That my team, I believe them even to the grave. That's the truth. Like even if we're 19th in the league and we're in Champions League, I believe that we're still going to win it because it's my team, and it's also because there's Lionel Messi on that team. Basically, I know that it's difficult. Like, come on, it's Champions League now. All the seasons we've been touted to win the Champions League, yeah, I haven't been that convinced. All the seasons that I wasn't convinced that we were going to win, especially I think it was 2009, I was too certain that, you know what, if we couldn't beat Chelsea at Camp Nou, Stamford Bridge was going to be done for. Then what? We qualify on.
Vrebo happened. Vrebo happened.
Suspicious
Vrebo happened, man.
Suspicious terms. But we shall qualify.
We shall qualify.
At the end of the day, the same thing is Chelsea did to us. They shall qualify. They don't argue anybody. We don't argue with them.
Anybody.
We shall win. So that season I was already gone for the Champions League. So I usually think that okay, seasons that I expect them to win. I think they should win. Last season, I didn't expect us to win anything. Only because I looked at Valverde's game the season before when we almost went unbeaten. I thought that, okay, yeah, the team is solid, but we just didn't have that passing cohesion as we usually did. That season, we were just basically playing like a reverse counter-attack. You basically play like four in the middle. There was no winger. So Messi was basically occupying wing and
the center.
So basically, Paulinho now just join the midfield when it comes to defending. So when it's attack, now Messi just dovetail to the right, Suarez dovetail to the left. Then Paulinho will be making runs in the middle. So all this, I thought okay, yeah, Valverde was going to be solid, but the next season after, I didn't see any progression. Like I need to see something that will convince me.
Let you know that
this guy, okay, yeah, the touch. Then let me know that this guy is playing well. But from then on, I just wrote off my team. But now that we sacked him, and we have someone that just he's willing to try anything to win. That's what I like. You need to show me that okay, if plan A no work, plan B will work. If plan B doesn't work, plan C will work. Until God knows when it will work. That's what I like. You have to show me on the pitch.
I can see when you say you have a lot to vent about. But let's leave Barcelona for a bit. Let's leave a team that couldn't get a striker to a team that got a striker and still sparked a lot of reactions. Precious Odion Ighalo to Manchester United.
Yeah.
Please help me make sense of it. You signed a striker who is in his 30s, probably we say out of form, playing in China. Help me make sense of that signing.
The size of the goalpost in England is not different from the size of the goalpost in China.
Okay.
Odion Ighalo for Shanghai Shenhua has hit 10 goals in 17 appearances. Only in 2018-19 season did he have a goals to games ratio of less than 0.41. Right?
Right.
It means if you create chances for him at United, he will score.
I'm happy you said that, but so is United a team that just sold Lukaku, a man who tries on chances? Do you think it's going to be a success story?
United were not playing to Lukaku's strengths. All right. Now, Ighalo is not the lone center forward kind of guy, right? Who will just stay there and bully everybody and bang in the goals. I think people do not see the technical side of the guy. I think I've seen him evolve. I watched him in the championship, okay, a little bit, playing for Watford. Yeah. And then he came to the Premier League. I watched him destroy John Terry at Stamford Bridge, okay. Yeah, so I know Ighalo could be inconsistent sometimes. However, I think over the course of the last few seasons, say 3 seasons, he has shown that there's been some additions to his game that were not there before. We also saw him. Ighalo for the Nigerian Super Eagles has about 16 goals in 35 appearances. That's decent enough. If you give him chances, he will score. He's also shown that he could create chances for himself. He's not a Chicharito who just stays up front and wait for tap-ins, right? He can fashion out chances for himself. One game comes to mind, the game between Nigeria and Cameroon at the Akwa Ibom. A very, very crunch game. The one Nigeria won, I think, was 4-0 or thereabout. You could see a pattern from the beginning of the game. Mikel gets the ball. Mikel lobs the ball to Ighalo. What would Ighalo? Ighalo was faced with 2 big center backs. Bully them, dribble them, anyhow you want to do it, just get the ball in the back of the net. It shows this guy added something extra to his game. He may be an unpopular signing because he's not a flashy guy. He's not the kind of name that has been linked with United all through in the papers and all the rest of them. However, you can't bet against a guy who loves the club. One, so he's a fan. He doesn't want to lose for the club. I'm a United fan. So if we lose this game, it's not like the average social media footballer who goes to bed, he loses the game and goes to bed. I'm a United fan. I have a point to prove. This is a Niger guy from Ajegunle. He has a point to prove. So I wouldn't bet against him. I'm a Chelsea fan. I wish Ighalo's name would not be on the team sheet at Stamford Bridge. Honestly, I wish. This may be an unpopular opinion. Yeah, but I hope that at the end of the season, we'll look back with this and think, oh, this was a master stroke from Ed Woodward and the United board. It's a low-risk investment. You've got nothing to lose. He's not worse than Anthony Martial now. Yeah, so I think United fans should give him a chance.
Jimmy, like Precious just said, prior to even the signing, when United played Wolves, Solskjaer came out in his conference after the game saying that he needs a striker who want to kill to score a goal. Ighalo seems to be that type of striker. Martial is not. So, and also Solskjaer, with his tenure so far at United, he's always been the kind of guy that doesn't want to sign the very flashy signing. Probably, maybe except Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire. The players he seems to want to bring in are people that want to work for their name, like Daniel James for Manchester. So, are you of the same opinion with Precious that Ighalo signing is a very low risk investment, which would most likely pay off?
I don't like the signing. Just mainly because, I mean, no slander to Ighalo, but if you watch this game during the AFCON,
yeah,
you can see the goals. But he scored 3 penalties.
Yeah.
Then 2 open play goals.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see that if not in the box, it's not that. He's a limited striker. And United now, for like United needs someone just to drop deep a little, because there's no creativity even at his back.
Even with Fernandes in now.
If Fernandes would just probably be whipping the ball to his leg, that's all. But you need someone else that would just be giving him enough chances to fashion out goals. Daniel James can't do it. I'm sorry, but Daniel James is just a grafter.
I agree with you.
Daniel James is a grafter. I'm not going to lie, he's a hustler. But once it comes to the technical aspects, like there'll come games that teams will actually sit off United and say United play with you won't play.
That's at the point. That's what teams were doing. They know that United cannot break them down, so we just sit back.
Yes,
come.
So that's the job of now. That's the job of your 9 now. Your 9 is meant to be entering in and after the box
to bring out players.
To give unpredictability to your team. But Ighalo now is mainly a sitting 9. He actually has to turn back, lean on the defenders, trap ball, turn, do what he needs to do, and score. But
that reminds me of Lacazette.
But now, what I'm thinking about the sign is that United should have made the striker signing in the summer. That's their biggest mistake. I would have gone for a Timo Werner in the summer. but they
When
didn't
I was
they didn't have.
United,
Yes.
he won't come.
I mean,
Actually.
it's just to beat it. It at least show that you're interested in buying all
Yeah.
these kind of players. You don't show interest in that, then who you now attract? Because if you're actively in the market going for these players, there's no way, no how you will not sign a top
You
nine.
know what? I don't. I think this move is it's a deliberate move. It's intentional. This signing didn't come out from the blue.
Yeah, because United were linked with Ighalo
Yeah.
when he was still in the Premier
Yes.
League and he was doing well with
Yeah,
Watford.
decently. Now, it's not coincidence that Solskjaer likes the less fancied signings. I think it gives him an excuse. There's less pressure. Oh, we don't have that marquee signing, so you are not expecting too much
from
me. Yeah, so it's a deliberate signing. This is just. I'm afraid for United fans though that these are mid-table signings.
Actually,
Yeah.
they
So
are.
so it shows the level of the status of your club now, more like a mid-table, a mid-table club.
I don't know why you're looking at me. Can you just go on?
Okay, so where should I?
But let's have an agreement. Do we agree that Ighalo is still better than what United currently have?
I mean, it's tough because Ighalo is just an upgraded Martial.
But there's still the upgrade.
No, literally now, look at their games now. Like, Martial's game now is basically hold up the ball.
But
he doesn't run into the channels again.
He doesn't even do the hold up very well anymore.
Exactly. So, Martial's overall game before was hold up, enter channel, move. Like,
United are really confused club.
but now they signed Ighalo that's basically the same. To do what?
With more experience.
It's basically like the same signing to me because they should have just even gone for a winger and just be pumping ball to Martial. He go score last time.
So do you think Ighalo will do well for United?
He's a striker, so definitely he should score
some goals.
But I don't fancy the signing because the overall gameplay will just be stagnated.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. We'll be going on a very short break now. We don't have basketball, Formula One, so it's all football. Just how I like it. Just kidding. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, hello. I am Giovanni Elba, ex-FC Bayern player, and I win Champions League 2001. And keep watching LB TV.
Welcome back, guys. Well, Odion's favorite quote is "Favor is better than labor," and I think that's what I'm going to be applying in my life going forward. For him to get his dream move was actually beautiful to see as a Nigerian, and definitely he's going to get most of our support. Well, anyways, let's move to another man who brought a quote recently, and there's Gattuso, the beast himself. He's come out to say when he lost the game, when he was still in Milan at the time, that he's angry. He's furious. But nowadays, what he sees that irritates him is that players, they lose the game and, oh, okay, I've lost the game. Just like you said about Odion for United. So, my question to you now is, what's changed? Is it really social media that's made players be a little bit soft to losing games nowadays, or what's that pressure?
I remember in the wake of United's 4-0 loss to Chelsea back then under Antonio Conte, a lot of the ex-United players, they were really, really vocal against the United players who they said, you just lost a game 4-0 and you were smiling in front of the cameras, swapping shirts with players. It didn't look like these guys just lost the game. There was no sign of remorse. And I think a lot has changed in football. You can't argue against the influence of social media on football players. Let me even bring it down to my team, Chelsea.
All right.
We have one of the best social media footballers in Michy Batshuayi.
Actually.
Yeah. But then
is that branch? Should we be calling them that social media football? I mean, Batshuayi is there.
Batshuayi will be the president of the association. Okay, now let's try to bring this back home and understand that social media plays a huge role. In the month of January 2020, there was a publication by the sports Journal of Sports Science, and they took a Brazilian team as their specimen. It was a preseason, and they divided the players into 3. Okay, so they had a set of 6 games, and they said for the first set of players, each one of them would play FIFA 18 30 minutes before the match. Now, the next group of players would play, they would spend 30 minutes on social media, at least 30 minutes before the match. And then the next set of players will passively review football videos, maybe the opponent's videos and all the rest of them. And so after the first game, they swapped them to make sure that the whole thing went round.
Yeah.
Now they found out that for the set of players who spent time on social media and on FIFA 18, they produced, each individual player produced similar number of passes in the games where they spent time on social media and or FIFA 18, right? Now, the set of players who studied videos, maybe just passively reviewed videos, football videos and all the rest of them, their decision making on the pitch considerably increased. So some sports scientists were now brought in to analyze these results. And they said what happened to those guys who spent time on social media and those who were playing FIFA before the game was they became mentally fatigued. Yeah. So what this means is that on the pitch of play, you now tend to focus more. They said there's a part of the brain which now makes you to focus more on your opponent and become less conscious of yourself when on the pitch of play. Now, look at the kind of footballers we have today. The average footballer is either on social media or playing FIFA. So, whether we like it or not, this would definitely have a say on your performance on the pitch and your overall values as a player. It means you are also less passionate about the game. It wasn't like before when this thing was a do or die thing for you. I mean, you can't be preparing for a game in the dressing room, say with a Roy Keane, for instance, and you are on social, and you are taking selfies. I mean, these were guys where we used to see players back then in the tunnel. Match never starts. In the tunnel, they were sweating like they had already played 120 minutes. It was something else. Okay, so you could feel the energy. You could literally feel the dressing room vibrate. But now, this guy is on one corner of the pitch, probably online, playing against another opponent, somewhere playing, you know. So this thing filters down. The values that footballers used to have, it's a different generation now. Let's also appreciate that. But then, it doesn't mean that this thing doesn't transmit into what we see on the pitch. The values have dropped. Social media has had an effect. FIFA has had an effect. I mean, this is practical. Whether we like it or not, this is sports science that I just brought to the table now. We can't fight against that.
FIFA some hours ago.
You can't fight against that. You know, somehow, this team, you play Master League, for example, this particular team is always giving you problem. So when you are sleeping at night, subconsciously, how am I going to beat these guys? And then you go to work on Monday, you are not even thinking about maybe account reconciliation or something. You're thinking about how you are going to beat Real Madrid. You are drafting tactics in your head. You drift away, kind of. And then your productivity level drops as well. Yeah.
Jimmy, I know you have a definitely different take on what Gattuso said. What's your take on
I feel like the man is just too old. That's what I feel like. Back in his own time too, Gattuso was a wild man. Forget this, it's just like they weren't videoing him. Like, this man used to party anyhow. I read it. It's not like I'm bringing out funny facts. This man used to party. In fact, the whole Italy 2006 squad, after the World Cup final, they went haywire.
I know Pele is a party.
So all these older players, I respect what they're doing. It's good that they're trying to caution the younger ones to mainly focus on the game. But you have to understand that it's the times. You can see Liverpool now. Just take the example of Liverpool squad alone. You see Ronaldo, he's mostly on the internet.
Yeah, and he's always giving us his weekly music updates.
Almost all their players are almost online every time, and what they're still beating teams anyhow. Trent plays Fortnite, he plays video games. So it's not like as if you can't compartmentalize. This is what I want to do at this point. It's just that it's the unserious ones now that are trying to make the ones that are serious and also do this look stupid. You can't just say, most of the players that are using the internet a lot, their performances tend to drop. I can't say it because I don't believe in it. Mainly because You can't just hone something on one thing. It's just, as a player, you already know what you're coming in to do. So if game and this thing is disturbing you, you don't know what you're doing then.
Anyways, guys, let's go to the final segment of today's show, and we're going to bring in two goal scorers in this past weekend in the Premier League into the limelight, and they're Dominic Calvert-Lewin for Everton and Abdoulaye Doucouré for Watford. Since when Pearson came into Watford, Doucouré had not scored a goal, but he scored, I think, his fourth goal in this past weekend, also for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So I'm going to ask you, for these players, is it that they were waiting for these managerial changes, or what happened? What happened for them?
I think it's just new energy, to be honest. Like when a new manager comes, you want to literally break your neck for this man so I can pick
He likes you, okay?
So I can pick you. So I wouldn't put it past Dominic because even before Carlo came, he's basically been Everton's shining light, him and Richarlison.
Yeah.
So he wants to prove that, okay, you know what, sir, I'm still ready to stay in this squad no matter what. Because almost all their injury prone players are coming back. Andre Gomez is on his way back. Mm-hmm. Usually, that would make them like 4 midfielders in that distance. So a striker will have to go. Or that means they will now play 4-3-3. Yeah. So that 4-4-2 that they usually play now will just basically die once their main central midfielder comes back. So he wants to cement that.
He wants to be the one there.
That, okay, you know what, that 4-4-3-3 that you guys want to play, I don't think it can work. So I have to play that pump. I have to play that striker now. And now, I feel he's taking advantage of the best of what he can do. Like, what he can do is basically not the ball, enter the box. Like, he's good at running into the box. Like, he's one of the best in the league. Players want to impress the manager. They also want to make sure that this manager does not bench, because the manager basically doesn't know you. Like, he can watch you, this thing. But it's different from when you train and when you now come onto the pitch and perform something for him. So that's what I believe. I believe that Calvert-Lewin is a fantastic player now, because you can't say his game is he's not going to come and be dropping into midfield and be spreading ball. No, he's very direct in his game. Gets into the box, head the ball, shoots, don't cause problems for the defenders, and that's what he's been doing to the team now.
Precious, let's end it on Doucouré, since he's giving us a bit on Calvert-Lewin. Yeah. Doucouré, for the past 3 to 4 seasons, he's been a very consistent midfielder in the Premier League, but now he's adding goals to his game. Yeah. How good is he looking?
Yeah, fantastic. I remember Frank Lampard said one of the best things to happen to him was Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho didn't really change so much in his style, per se. But then he walked up to Frank Lampard when the players were having a shower in their bathrooms. Frank Lampard was in his natural estate. And then he told him, "You are the best player in the world." That sparked something else in him. Like, I mean, I can literally do more than this. It changed. There's something about when a coach tells you.
He tried to do the same with Dele Alli, telling him
Doucouré has always been that energetic, robust guy who you could see that ability in him, but then probably needed somebody to tell him, "Guy, there's just this extra thing you need to add." Pearson is not the most tactically astute manager, but then he could be the spark that Doucouré needs, and maybe we could just be seeing more of another Patrick Vieira than Musa Sissoko.
I don't know about that. Well, thank you so very much, guys. We've come to the end today. I appreciate you, Precious, for your brilliant analysis and the numbers as usual, and Jimmy as well. Hope we allowed you vent enough. Well, guys, we've come to the end. We'll be seeing you next week. And don't forget the quote of the day. Never forget it. Favor is better than labor. Thank you very much.